Roesasses rode up to Alexander and struck him on the head with his sword, breaking off a piece of his helmet.
Epic History TV, Alexander the Great, Part 1. Let's get straight into the video.
In 334 BC, Alexander, king of Macedonia, began one of the greatest military campaigns in history against the superpower of the age, the Persian Empire.
No, I actually didn't know that the Persians were the superpower. Wow. What year is this? Let's see.
20 years old, his brilliant and fearless leadership won him battle after battle. And in an astonishing...
Wait, 332 BC? Ooh! So was Rome a thing at that point? When was Rome founded? I know Rome was founded on my birthday, like April 21st, but I don't know what year.
10-year campaign that took him to the edge of the known world. He carved out one of the largest empires ever known. Few men have had such a massive impact on the course of history. To the Persians, he was Alexander the Accursed, but to the West, he was immortalized as Alexander the Great.
Oh, okay. This is getting a little lit.
Ancient Greece. From around 500 BC, this rugged land was the scene of remarkable developments in art, philosophy, and warfare. Its two greatest city-states were Athens, a naval power where democracy, art, drama, and philosophy flourished, and Sparta, an austere, militaristic society famed for its formidable army.
You know, it's funny how the West loves to cocksuck Greece and the Romans. Like, yo, I remember, right? Like, I saw like a bunch of people saying that, Russians like to say that they have culture, and they were like, oh, Russians like to use St. Petersburg as the fact that they have culture, but it's not really like their culture. Like, St. Petersburg was like imported culture, which makes zero sense to me. And it's like the West does that too, right? Like, the West literally like took so many things and they literally just imported it, air quotes, right, from the Greeks and the Romans.
In 480 BC, these two city-states had joined forces to fight an invasion by the mighty Persian Empire. At the narrow pass of Thermopylae, a small Greek force led by 300 Spartans held up the enormous Persian army for 3 days before they were finally encircled and killed. Then, in the Straits of Salamis, the Greek fleet defeated the Persian navy. But they couldn't prevent the Persians burning the sacred temples of the Athenian Acropolis.
Yo, bro, imagine naval warfare back then. Like, you know how, like, as naval warfare progressed, you had cannons, you had big guns, you had all this stuff, bro. Imagine naval warfare back then. Like, you literally have to go and board on a ship. Like, imagine boarding on a ship back then, and you're like the first guy who has to board. Oh, hell nah, bro. It's like you're like the first guy who has to get out of a trench during World War I, bro. Oh my goodness.
The next year at Plataea, the Greeks won a decisive land battle against the Persians and forced them to abandon their invasion. The next 50 years were the golden age of classical Greece. But rising tension between Athens and Sparta and their allies eventually led to war, dragging the Greek world into decades of destructive fighting. Wars between the Greek city-states continued for almost a century, leaving them exhausted and vulnerable to a new rising power to the north. For centuries, sophisticated Greeks had viewed the mountainous kingdom of Macedonia as a backwater, Hicksville, barely Greek at all. But
oh my goodness, I know Macedonia has a bunch of controversy. Oh, this is the lore. Okay, this is the lore of the controversy. Oh, okay.
under King Philip II, Macedonia emerged as a formidable military force. His most famous reform? The introduction of the sarissa, an 18-foot pike, twice the length of a normal Greek spear, and wielded by trained infantry fighting in close formation, known as a phalanx.
That's the origins of the phalanx. Bro, these units were devastating. I know that. These units. Okay. This is gonna be good.
In 338 BC, at the Battle of Chaeronea, Philip's army crushed the joint forces of Thebes and Athens. Through alliance and conquest, Philip had already gained control over most of his neighbors. Now, following this victory, he united all Greece in an alliance known as the Hellenic League, or League of Corinth, with Philip as hegemon, or supreme commander. Only Sparta stood aside. Philip began to plan a great campaign, a pan-Hellenic or all-Greek war against the Persian Empire. Their old foe was now an ailing superpower, its great riches ripe for the taking.
Oh, but like, why though? Bro, I have to learn about the Persian Empire. I didn't even know that the Persian Empire had control of Anatolia, what's now modern day Turkey. I never knew that. Holy crap. I need to learn about the Persian Empire, bro. These people are interesting.
But on the eve of launching his war, Philip was assassinated by his own bodyguard, victim of Macedonia's brutal court rivalries. He was succeeded by his 20-year-old son, Alexander, brilliant, restless, tutored by the great philosopher Aristotle, and already an experienced military commander. Alexander inherited his father's grand plan to invade Persia, but first he had to secure his own position as king. At home, he had potential rivals executed, then crushed rebellions in Illyria, Thessaly, and central Greece. He made a special example of Thebes, completely destroying the ancient city and selling its people into slavery.
Look at that. White slaves, right? White slaves. Oh my goodness, we have people in 2024 making slavery to be a racial thing. Slavery was not a racial thing. I'm sure if you're watching my channel, you have enough of a brain to understand that. But still, slavery was not a racial thing. It was just the norm. Back then. Didn't matter what skin color you were. It was just the norm. But unfortunately, and I might talk about this in another video, but slavery was just painted out to be just black and white thing because some rich white people decided to invent racism as an excuse to enslave freaking Africans. It's stupid. Anyways, that's like more for another topic.
In the spring of 334 BC, now ready to launch his war against the Persian Empire, Alexander led his army across the Hellespont into Asia Minor. It was the start of one of the greatest military campaigns in history. Alexander's army was about 40,000 strong, drawn from all parts of Greece. The infantry were commanded by the veteran Macedonian general Parmenion. In the front rank, 9,000 Macedonian phalangites armed with the 18-foot sarissa. These were professional soldiers, well-trained and drilled, who formed up for battle in the phalanx, 16 ranks deep.
Bro, that is so long. That is so long. That's what she says. No, but seriously, look at the size of this. This is terrifying. Like, how do you fight against this? God forbid that you're cavalry. Oh, hell nah. Hell nah.
This packed formation presented a solid wall of iron spear tips and was virtually unstoppable. But it was also difficult to maneuver and highly vulnerable to attacks on its flanks or rear. So 3,000 elite.
Yeah, there's always a drawback, but he's about to say something.
Infantry, the hypaspists, or shield bearers, armed with shorter spears, guarded its flanks. They were commanded by Parmenian's son, Nicanor. The second line of Alexander's army was made up of 7,000 Greek allies and 5,000 mercenaries, armed as hoplites. They took their name from the hoplon, their large round shield, and carried shorter 8-foot spears. A hoplite phalanx was not as effective as the Macedonian phalangites, but still well armed and heavily armored for the time. The Agrianes were the army's elite skirmishers, expert javelin throwers from what's now southern Bulgaria. Other skirmishers from Thrace and Illyria were armed with javelins, slings and bows.
Who are Illyrian people? Who are Illyrian people? I heard somewhere that Albanians say that they're Illyrian people. But I've also heard that Albanians are not Illyrian people. So who are Illyrian people? I would really love to know the origins of that. Bro, freaking Balkan, dude. Balkan lore is something else. Ooh. Something else, bro.
The shock troops of Alexander's army were the companion cavalry. 1,800 elite horsemen, armed with spear and sword, commanded by Philotas, another son of Parmenion. Alexander led the royal squadron in person. There were also 1,800 cavalry from Thessaly, commanded by Callas, 600 from other parts of Greece, led by Erigyeus, and 900 mounted scouts from Thrace and Paeonia, under Cassander. The great Persian Empire was divided into provinces, called satrapies. Each satrapy was ruled by a governor, or satrap.
Why did he put the modern day borders? Interesting. I mean, it gives you a good highlight of like how big the freaking Persian Empire was, but still. This is very interesting. I'm not saying much right now because I'm like still taking in everything right now.
Those in Asia Minor, now threatened by Alexander's invasion, met to discuss strategy. Memnon of Rhodes, a skilled Greek general in Persian service, urged them to avoid battle with Alexander. Instead, he advised them to use a scorched earth strategy, to burn villages and crops and withdraw to the interior. Alexander's army, he promised, would quickly starve. It was good advice, but the satraps were unwilling to lay waste to their own provinces without a fight. So,
oh, dude, look, I get it. You want to fight. but sometimes you just have to back down and think about the future, right?
They decided to face Alexander's army at the river Granicus. The Persian army formed up behind the river, which was shallow but 60 feet wide with steep banks. Their front line was a wall of cavalry, about 10,000 horsemen from across the empire. Medes and Hyrcanians from modern Iran, Bactrians from Afghanistan, and Paphlagonians from Turkey's Black Sea coast. Behind, in reserve, were the infantry, several thousand Greek mercenaries, a common sight in Persian armies at this time. These men fought for Persian gold and were armed with the round shield and short spear of hoplites.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I don't think that this army is gonna win, dude. First of all, this is all cavalry. Okay, remember what I said earlier? Like, imagine being like cavalry, and you have to go up against those phalanx. Oh no, I'm sorry, but this is. I mean, he has horse archers, but yeah, no.
The Persians may have been unsure if they could trust these men in combat against fellow Greeks, and so placed them at the rear. Alexander, determined to attack and destroy this Persian force before it could retreat, raced to the Granicus with his best troops. On his left wing he posted Thessalian, Greek and Thracian cavalry under Parmenian's command. In the center were the massed spears of the phalanx, its 6 divisions commanded by Perdiccas, Koinos, Amintas, Philip, Meleager and Crateros. On the right, Alexander himself with the companion cavalry under Philotas, as well as the elite hypaspists, the Agrianes javelin throwers, and the archers. Alexander, with 13,000 infantry and 5,000 cavalry in all, was probably slightly outnumbered.
Yeah, but that does not matter. That does not matter, bro. His troops clearly has the better quality. Like, these phalanx alone clears, bro. Clears, bro. Look at this. All of this, bro. I mean, the horse archers might give them some trouble, but he has other, well, he has other, like cavalry as well, I guess. But ooh, this is gonna be interesting, bro, because if the Persians attack, ooh, yeah, no, but it's gonna be hard if he attacks. But let's see what happens.
But ignoring advice to wait until dawn to cross the river, he ordered an immediate assault. He sent a squadron of companion cavalry to ford the river, followed by a regiment of hypaspists and the Paeonian light cavalry. Alexander, calling on his men to show their courage, then led his right wing across the river. As they reached the middle of the river, the Greeks came under a hail of javelins, darts and arrows from the Persian line. Those that made it to the far bank were immediately charged by the Persian cavalry.
Smart.
Alexander was in the thick of the fighting. He attacked where the whole mass of their cavalry and leaders were stationed. Around him, a desperate conflict raged. Horses were jammed against horses, and men against men.
Wow, so that's actually how they fought. Wow. Really? Wow. I learned something new today, because I was just about to ask, did cavalry actually like fight like that against other cavalry, just slam into each other? Holy hell. Ooh.
the Macedonians striving to drive the Persians away from the riverbank. The Persians determined to prevent them crossing and to push them back into the river. Alexander's attack seemed reckless, but he was buying time for the rest of his army to cross the river, including the irresistible Macedonian phalanx.
The phalanx, bro. Oh, even I was thinking that too, bro. The phalanx, bro. I'm watching them. They're the main ones that you have to watch for.
Then, suddenly, Alexander was fighting for his life, charged by 2 Persian nobles. Roisaces rode up to Alexander and struck him on the head with his sword, breaking off a piece of his helmet. But
Oh, shoot. Oh, a head? Yo, that must have hurt. Yo.
the helmet broke the force of the blow, and Alexander struck him down with his lance. Then, from behind, Mithridates raised his sword against the king, but Black Clitus, son of Dropidas, anticipated his blow, struck his arm, and cut it off, sword and all.
Oh, yo, that is mad. That is mad.
Now the Greek army was across the river, and the Persian cavalry faced a wall of Macedonian spears. Most turned and fled. The speed and shock of Alexander's attack meant Persia's Greek mercenaries hadn't even had time to join the battle. Alexander, in a blood rage, or possibly regarding these Greeks as traitors, ignored their appeals for mercy. The mercenaries were surrounded on all sides and massacred.
Damn. Yo, I'm sorry, but like, if you're a traitor, bro, if you're a traitor, I can't have sympathy for you. I can't. I don't like traitors. In this case, because sometimes it's good to betray people that's necessary, but in this case, right here, I can't respect that. I'm sorry.
Alexander had won a great victory. Asia Minor now lay at his mercy. But the Persian Empire was still a land of immense wealth and power. Already, it was mobilizing its vast resources to face him. If Alexander was to conquer this empire and take his place in history, he'd next have to face Darius, King of Kings himself. Research and artwork.
Oh. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure you check out these videos that are appearing on your screen right now. If you like Epic History TV, make sure you subscribe, because I'm reacting to every single Epic History TV content on my YouTube channel, because Epic History TV is entertaining. Thank you so much for watching the video, and goodbye.